From the London Center in Phoenix, it's the Pat McMahon Show.
As long as we open on a post-holiday Monday on what appears to be a green box of something, I will tell you that the founder, the discoverer, the person who has put all of this together, that is the stuff, the ingredients inside this green box, is here today. Sweet leaf sweetener, and neither pink nor blue nor yellow, but green. And you know what? It's all local. It's right here, and we'll be talking about it too. I just mentioned that I just took a sip of tea with this new sweetener. Well, not new as far as God is concerned, but new, available to you for the first time in this particular form. And you will find that it is a dramatic difference, too. Listen, whenever anybody here on the staff, whenever anybody is gracious enough to say, I notice that you're in the middle of a big conference, or you got to get stuff ready for the show. Can I get you some coffee? What do you use in it? Well, I just always say, okay, get me some coffee or tea, and I don't care what kind of sweetener, yellow, pink, blue, it doesn't matter to me, but it does now. Because for the first time today, I used this, Sweet Leaf. And you know what? It's now the green stuff, not just because of the fact that Jim May is here and he's a good guy, and not just because he's local, but because, boy, I'm telling you, I could save money on this. I put a package of this in my tea, which is what I usually do with the other sweetener stuff, you know? It's really sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, do you recommend for people who have been using a packet of pink, yellow, or blue that they use less?
They'll perhaps start out with half a pack. Each pack would replace 2 teaspoons of sugar, but it's very sweet and delicious, so better to use less than too much.
Okay, is it stevia?
People see the word because it looks like stevia, but the correct pronunciation is stevia. It's Spanish.
And it comes from Paraguay?
Originally, stevia was found in the rainforests of Paraguay more than 1,500 years ago.
Okay, so it wasn't either one of us that found it?
No, it wasn't us.
Okay, a little background on the history of this product. This is a leafy growing, they're in the name, sweet leaf. And have they been using it as a sweetener for beverages and cooking for all that time?
Yes, they have. In fact, one of the very first uses for the stevia was in the yerba mate beverage, which is the leaf of a tree.
Well, as a matter of fact, we can even get a shot of this package of yerba mate so that people don't think it's the name of the guy that discovered it. Okay, and what is this?
Yerba mate comes from the leaf of the yerba mate tree. It's highly nutritious, has about 250 different nutrients in it. It's really good for the human body.
Coffee-like beverage?
Similar to coffee. You can drink it hot or cold, but it gives energy and vitality, mental alertness. It's just good for you.
So 1,500 years ago, somebody said, oh, here's this green leaf thing here, and the first thing, of course, they do is they try to find out how it tastes. And it tasted very, very sweet. But why has it taken 1,500 years for us to find out about it?
Well, in South America, they have known and used it for all those years. About 35 years ago, the Japanese learned about it, and they began taking the stevia plants to Japan and growing them in greenhouses. The Japanese government, their Ministry of Health, immediately recognized that this was the safest sweetener on the face of the earth.
Why?
Because it has absolutely no harmful effects. Stevia has been used by tens of millions of people for more than 35 years, and there's never, ever been an adverse event reported from using it.
So the Japanese have been using it for 35 years. Back about the time they figured out how to make an automobile that doesn't run us into the ground financially, how to make cars that will go 30, 35 miles to the gallon. And so they were even ahead of us when it comes to sweetener, for crying out loud. Why has it taken so long, Jim May, to just figure out we could do this too? All we got to do is put it in our coffee or our tea.
Well, it's kind of my story. Actually, I brought stevia leaves and the tea with stevia in it to America 26 years ago. I brought what we call stevia concentrate, which is a dark liquid made by cooking the leaves. I took it to the FDA office here and asked, what do I have to do in order to bring stevia and market it in the United States? The answer was, oh, we know all about stevia. It's perfectly safe. You have no problems. Then in 1985, as I'm finally getting to sell a little bit of it through health food stores, the Vegetarian Times magazine did a little 2-paragraph story about me and stevia. It took the GD Cereal Company, which is the makers of aspartame. This is a drug company. NutraSweet,
yeah.
Equal. It took them about 4 weeks to send their entire staff of lawyers to Washington demanding that the FDA stop me from selling stevia.
We've got pink, we've got yellow, we don't want green.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that is so nauseating when you're talking about the free enterprise country that we have here in the United States. That includes the practice of law.
Yes, yes.
So they stopped you for a while.
They did.
On what basis?
It was an unapproved sweetener, and really because the artificial sweetener companies simply did not want it in America, nor did the drug companies, because you have something here in stevia that has been proven now that lowers high blood sugar. It lowers high blood pressure. When stevia is available in our entire food and beverage supply, you're going to see the health of Americans improve dramatically. It could be the end of obesity.
Okay, so it isn't just that it isn't bad for you, it's also good for you.
It's extraordinarily good for the human body.
Now, can you say that on this television show? Are you allowed to do that anymore?
Well, as long as I don't say my brand when I say it. We're talking about stevia right now.
Okay, so stevia is the sweetening ingredient found in the plants in Latin America, right?
That's correct.
Does that mean that all of those other guys, the blue guys and the pink guys and the yellow guys, they can use this too?
Of course. In fact, the blue guys are now trying to squeeze me out of business, and they're bringing their own stevia into the United States, and they're now trying to get it approved as a sweetener. Actually, sweet leaf sweetener is the first stevia allowed to be sold as a sweetener in the United States. But Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Marisont and Cargill have all announced that they will have a stevia sweetener before the end of this year.
Yeah, but you're one of our local guys. We're on your side.
Well, I hope so. I can certainly use all the help I can get from our fellow Arizonans.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Go out and buy some sweet leaf stevia. You know, go to your health food store or Whole Foods or Bash's or some Fry's stores or Sprouts.
Is it not available everywhere where those other sweeteners are?
No.
Why?
Well, because we have not been permitted by the FDA to put it in the sweetener aisle. In other words...
I'm sorry, Jim. If it was confusing for you when you introduced this 26 years ago or so, imagine the host sitting over here saying, I don't understand.
Well, that's not the whole of it, Pat. In 1995, we were finally allowed to sell stevia as a dietary supplement. However, what the FDA told us was if you put the word sweet on your label, if you inform a consumer that it's sweet or that makes a beverage taste better, we will consider it adulterated and it will be removed from the shelves and destroyed.
All right, folks.
That's our FDA.
Folks, listen, if you have found yourself frustrated because of medications not being available that are available everywhere else in the world, imagine if it's just what makes your beverage sweet. So, yeah, I am on the side of local merchants, and so far, it's a matter of finding a store for this product or going to Paraguay or Japan. you could always ask, of course, for sweet leaf sweetener. Hey, listen, I have some of my tea right now. The only difference between now and tomorrow is I'm going to be using half of what I put in this. Sweet leaf sweetener. It's a Gilbert product, isn't it?
Yes, my offices are in Gilbert.
Jim May, you have your choice of pink, blue, yellow, and now green.